Well, thank you, everyone. And I'm a professor emerita of Native American Studies and Comparative Ethnic Studies in the Department of Ethnic Studies at Cal. And I've said on the syllabus that this course will be taught from an Indigenous perspective, which at one level is meaningless because as an Indigenous person myself, obviously my perspective is Indigenous, but I had something more serious in mind as I said that. Native America lives in a kind of invisible parallel universe inside the overcultural United States. What I mean by this is that Carlos Fuentes' famous description of the USA, the United States of amnesia, he called us, does not apply to Native America, where everyone lives within the often terrible histories we all share. And I had an anecdote, but I don't have time, so come to the class and I'll tell it to you. Although each literary work can be read for itself, even in the new critic manner, formal characteristics only with no history and no authorship, which is how I learned to read literature when I was an undergraduate at Cal in the 60s. Nonetheless, each of these will be read with their deeper histories very present, so that when you read them, there's a different dimension. There's the way that an American Indian person would read those works of literature, him or herself. Then the second aspect of what I mean about this perspective is a little bit trickier to describe in 3 minutes. Let me say briefly that it follows from something Ludwig Wittgenstein very famously said a long time ago: the limits of my language are the limits of my world. Every language carries within them a particular epistemology. They carry moral and ideological economies within them. Native languages, Indigenous languages, different as they are from each other, as do differ in the ways that all European languages do, still carry within them a very, very similar epistemology that is in most ways completely antithetical to the Western epistemology we as English speakers all share and learn when we're growing up. So I'd like to try to teach about how Native people speak Indian. So even those of us who have a native language and can speak it, and I'll share some of that with you as we go to show you how very different the world is in a native world. Those who don't have an Indigenous language but who are native still talk Indian. And so each of these writers is writing in what I would call Indian, whether they are writing in an Indigenous language or not. Thank you.
Patricia, thank you.